Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect, Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right, man. Take a quick look around with me. You know, see the beautiful sun in the sky. Man, I'm gonna say it. Once again, another fantabulous day. I had to figure out what word I wanted to use descriptively there. All right. Thank you all once again. I love you all and truly appreciate you taking time to hear and see what I got to say, right? Which is, of course, that I love you and worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. We still rolling, right? Man, are we? Anyone and all of you who have taken the opportunity to get out here and feel and experience all this beauty, right? It's clear and evident how resurgent, how vibrant the earth is right now, right? Truly a beautiful thing to behold. All right, so this video, I wanted to touch on a very important subject regarding a process that, I think is not only beneficial for us to go through as individuals, as people, but ultimately as a civilization on this planet, right? And that is escaping survival mentality. All right. In previous videos, I touched on our ability to manifest, right? We are creative beings, right? That is so true. In fact, that is even scientifically proven in the quantum disciplines, like quantum biology, quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement. That realm has proven our profound impact and influence on existence itself. I can't overstate that. And the importance of us now, truly, to not just understand, but to really cognize that, right? To take it into a level of understanding and belief that is no longer requisite of physical proof. We know it, right? We need to be at that point. And part of that, and the reason we need to be at that point is because we have truly a profound, an opportunity of the ages, right? Our solar system right now is in a part of the galaxy, quite frankly, that our civilization has not been in, period. We are being exposed to different types of energies and different levels of energies it's simply unprecedented, right? And it has and is having a profound effect in providing us an incredible opportunity to essentially execute a evolutionary leap, so to speak, right? A truly profound increase in our level of thought, you know, accomplishing theta wave thought and higher, physical evolution in our DNA, literally flowering into its full potential, rather than coiling and recoiling into the lower manifestation that we're used to, right? We are much greater than this, indeed, and spiritually awakening to truly align and integrate more and more of our spiritual energy into our physical vessels, right? We have an opportunity to do all of this because of where, when, and what we are, right? And truly, the key to unlock that, hey, Puck, the key to unlocking that is our profoundly important connection and love of our Creator, right? That's the bottom line, ultimately. That I think sometimes we get a little remiss to mention that none of this is possible. None of existence happens lest it spring from our creative source. So gratitude to our Creator and love for our Creator should be foremost in our thoughts, right? In our concentration, in our process, right? And with that, we indeed will find ourselves unlocking more and more of our spiritual energy integrating into our physical vessel, our physical essence, right? Yeah, man. So as we do that, and again, mentioning how I talked about previously how we manifest constantly, we have to understand and realize that the very rudimentary level of our manifestation is subconscious in nature. We subconsciously manifest all the time, right? In fact, anytime you are not consciously manifesting, you are subconsciously manifesting. The universe, the photons that make up our reality are always listening to the impact of the signal we emit. And you are constantly emitting a signal. Your body is constantly emitting, in fact, a field, an electromagnetic field referred to commonly as our biosphere. And that field emits a signal that is quantum, right? And its impact is, in fact, on that level across time and space. The universe is listening to you, asking you, what do you want? What is your life going to be, right? And it, in fact, an analogy I believe I've used before is that it functions almost how our delightful little 3D printers function, right? You know, we give it a command, parameters of what we want it to make, we put in our request, prints it out, right? And it's tangibly right there. Well, the universe does essentially the same thing on so much more of a grand level, right? The signal we emit, again, whether consciously or subconsciously, is essentially programming to those photons in our universe, in our reality. Programming of what they need to do and how they need to function in order to formulate the reality we are requesting. And if anybody doesn't believe that, understandably so, doesn't believe that our intent and our will, which is transmitted through our biosphere electromagnetically, right? Your intent is the message, and the emotion is the charge, right? The message is the magnetism, right, which you are attracting to you, and the electro in electromagnetism is that emotion or that charge, right? So electromagnetically, we literally program our reality. Facts. Don't take my word for it. Do the research and check it out. Facts. This is who and what we are. Now, again, all that is further, I almost used the word agitated, but I don't quite want to use the word agitated. All that is further brought along and exponentially increased and even quantumly enhanced in ways we have yet to understand by the new energetic exposure that we find ourselves in the positioning in our solar system that we're currently in, or excuse me, in our galaxy that our solar system currently resides in its orbit around the center of the galaxy. We're in a special place, folks. A special time and a special place on this planet indeed. So, pardon me, I'm a little parched.
Everything blocked off.
So
I can't go that way.
essentially what you want to do is get to a point in a place that we have our process a bit more organized, right? Well, what do I mean by that? I mean, any scientific process has in it certain rules that we place so that we keep ourselves honest in our discovery, right? All right. So as we organize our process and we take a look at what's happening in our manifestation, we have to always be cognizant of our intent. Because again, that's what the universe is going to essentially print out as our reality. Now, what I mean when I refer to the rudimentary level of our manifestation, the most basic level of our manifestation, right? What I meant by that is our not process, but our function, our primary function, right? I think I was going to go to like a computer phrase, you know, like our primary programming, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to go tech on it, right? yeah, that's what we're our physical bodies, that is, are hardwired to do. Survive in this physical realm. And they certainly have everything that we need to do that. Now, what we got to ask ourselves is that all we should be doing is surviving? And this is what's key, right? Because that's all we're doing in the old paradigm. The old paradigm of the masses essentially struggling to get by, while a small elite class or group or organization or whatever you want to call it of socio-economic elite individuals essentially rule over the masses, and the masses, the larger percentages of the population, stay stagnant, just surviving. If you're born, you know, you work, you provide a living, right, for you and your family. We take great stock in that, and understandably so, because unfortunately we've all come up in a paradigm where in order to do that, you've got to really put forth some toil, right? You have to work in some way, shape, or fashion in order to survive. Isn't the mark of any civilization progress? Let's think for a second. Isn't the mark of any civilization progress? If you just stayed where you were at, if you never progress, are you actually civilizing? Or have you become civilized? Or are you just existing, aka are you just surviving? Right? We make great strides technologically and hang our hats on that as a mark of progress, right? But at the same time, in our wonderful technologically advanced society, around the world as a civilization, we find ourselves plagued by the same problems involving survival as we have dealt with for as far back as we can ponder, right? There are still the majority of the people on this planet struggling to survive and to attain basic needs: food, clothing, shelter, and I'll even add access to energy. All right? That's basic. That's basic. But yet, for as advanced as we hang our hats on being, right, as far as we like to pat ourselves on the back for having come, the majority of us on this planet still struggle every day in these areas with these same problems. If we are so advanced, why have we not tackled these problems? And what's worse, what's far worse, is when you truly look into it truly delve with free thinking research, right, into these problems, you discover, well, wait a minute, we have more than the ability to solve these problems. And then you go a little further and discover, wait a minute, there are those who are preventing these problems from being solved so that the rest of the masses, right, remain fragmented and divided, constantly distracted by survival, right? Folks, our civilization, our growth as a civilization has been halted or stunted or stagnated purposefully. Now, what you have to do, or what we have to do, and certainly what I have to do, in my opinion, humbly, is to ask ourselves, do we personally want to continue to remain stagnated? Do we want to remain in a mentality of strictly just survival, right? Especially in this day and time, where and when we are in our galaxy, right? And if you don't think it's really that profound, if you think I'm exaggerating this, right? I want you to start to put a few things together. I already told you the agenda of the depopulationist movement, right? They put it right there in front of our faces. Those who haven't taken just a moment to just Google Georgia Guidestones and take a look at the images and zero in, and increase your image, right? And look closely as you magnify your image at what's printed in stone by these socio-economic elites. Their goal is to get the world's population down to 500 million total world population. 500 million people. That's the population that they feel comfortable maintaining control of. And as far as they're concerned, the rest of everyone else falls into the category of overpopulation. Ask Mr. Gates and others of his ilk and mentality. They've said it. Want to kick off with an immediate decrease of world population by at least 19% immediately, just to get the ball rolling in that direction. So why am I bringing that up? Because what do you think is the motivation for these corporations and organizations and individuals with the most power and influence, the most resources? What do you think is their motivation when they print that in stone for you to look at, publicly displayed, and then they implement it in ways that are undeniable if you just open up your eyes and pay attention? Folks, those trails in the sky are not just ice crystals from planes. At times, there's entire fake clouds. Do some free thinking, independent research. It's already been studied, examined, and categorized what is within these fake clouds or trails. And it's nothing but toxins and calcification agents. which if you don't know is a grouping of chemical additives that calcify your pineal organ, or what is commonly referred to as your pineal gland. Okay? So that's what's in that. You got the same thing in your food. Don't take my word for it. Flip the box around. Look at the ingredient list. Don't look at the little advertisement labels. Oh, all natural. Really? Flip it around and read the ingredients. And then research what each of those ingredients is and what it does to your body. All right? Do that. Don't take my word for anything. It's in your water. The information is out there for you to research exactly what's in your water in your area. Just do the free thinking research to find out. You'll find the same thing. Toxins and calcification agents. Folks, that's not all coincidental, which I don't believe in coincidence anyway. But for those of you that do, you do understand that at a certain point, it's just not coincidence, right? Then start to think about the amount of money, power, and political exertion is required to execute all this. Then go back and ask yourself, am I overstating anything? All right? And then take the next why step and ask the real question. Why? Why is all this being done? And it's being done because the opportunity that I'm speaking about, and many of us are speaking about, for all of us to truly take an evolutionary leap, right? Many of it called an awakening, right? Or an ascending. Whatever you want to term it as. We got something really special going on right now is the bottom line. And as it happens on your planet, what is your experience going to be? Are you just going to be focused on surviving through it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if that's as high as your vibrational frequency is going to go, they're going to make that tough. It's going to be tough to just survive in a low vibrational frequency, right? Because those who have implemented all of those extreme measures I just talked about are doing so because they are desperately clinging to a paradigm that we are shifting out of, right? So it becomes a question of, are you going to vibrate your life in a vibrational frequency that is congruent with the new paradigm we are shifting to and cementing now? Or are you going to remain rooted in an old failing paradigm that's fallen away like giant shards of broken glass? What are you going to do? Are you just going to survive? Is that as high as your vibrational frequency is going to be? Or are you going to do what you need to do to take that journey, to get on that path, right? To accept this opportunity that's in front of you, that's in front of all of us, to ascend, to better ourselves in whatever way and whatever, however you want to call it. But not stay the same. We're not staying the same, folks. Change is at hand. That should be evident that the world is not going to be the same. It's not going backward. It's not. But we can make it go forward in a beautiful direction if we choose that. Both collectively and, of course, first within our individual lives. And that's what I'm talking about right now. In each of our individual lives, what is that choice going to be? And if we're going to choose to ascend and to go higher and farther than where it's been possible for us to go in the old paradigm. If we're going to escape survival mentality, then we are quite simply going to have to do that. By embracing this opportunity and doing everything that we can to better ourselves. Changing our diet. I'm not saying go from one diet to, like a complete 360 the next day. I understand all of this is part of what? A process. But you gotta start moving aggressively in a direction. We have to start moving aggressively in a direction to better ourselves. And our diet is one of the most important ways to do that. You literally are what you eat, right? So I recommend personally a plant-based diet and doing incrementally taking the steps to get there, right? I didn't do it overnight. It took years, right? But we all can do it. All right. Above all, on the vibrational frequency, level, we need to, rather, I would suggest that we all become a lot more cognizant of what our vibrational frequency is throughout the course of each and every single day, right? And again, if you remember from previously videos, I talked about how scientists have charted and measured how our vibrational frequency fluctuates according to our emotional and energetic states, right? Our emotional and mental states that coordinate with our energetic state and our vibrational frequency. When you are in a positive place, right? The highest positive place you can be is one of pure love and acceptance, right? Unconditional love. You're moving in the direction of the highest frequencies that you can attain. Conversely, hate, anger, apathy, regret, guilt,